NXT TakeOver Toronto is August 10th, and we have a lot of matches to go for on the card here. And first off, let's go through the triple threat match for the North American title. The Velveteen Dream defends against the, I guess, now a part of NXT, not Pete Dunne, who was formerly NXT UK, and Roderick Strong. Of course, Dunn, a former WWE United Kingdom champion, I guess is now the NXT UK Championship. I don't know. They were saying it on commentary last night, so I'm just going to go with that. I don't know for sure, but that just might just be what happened because I haven't caught up with the NXT brand myself over the past. I need to catch up over the past of a couple months, but nonetheless, from what I've seen of Dunn is incredible. The guy should be a world champion in maybe a couple years when he's called to the main roster. But as far as this goes, I really don't know because you have the setup for the Undisputed Era to win all the gold here. Kind of like Evolution did over a decade, maybe 2 decades ago now, almost. I think it's about a little bit over a decade. Almost 2 decades now, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. But nonetheless, you have that setup of the Undisputed Era just having all the gold. And I really don't know if they would do that for Roderick Strong. Because he has all the potential to be a great North American champion. But the Dream has just been so good. And with TakeOver, I say this every time, and I know people hate it. But even though NXT is pretty much the third brand, even though it's going to be going head-to-head with AEW, it is still looked at by WWE as developmental. So you have to look at it as who's getting called up. Technically, Pete Dunne, I guess, has been called up from the UK brand to the regular NXT brand, which I don't know if that is the line of succession over the next couple months or weeks. If they want to bring people and don't want to bring them straight to the main roster, you could do it that way. And just get them seasoned to the American style of wrestling, because the British style and the European style is totally different from the American style. Some people say they're similar, but there are those small differences, for sure. Especially if you go to traditional British style, for sure. But nonetheless, if we were doing that with who could get called up here, I would say that Roderick Strong retains or gets the title only if the Dream goes to the main roster. If he doesn't, then the Dream retains. That's just a solid lock for sure. The Street Profits defending NXT tag titles against the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. They've been on Raw recently, which leads me to believe that they'll lose the titles, because it makes no sense for them to have the titles and just have their little segments, which they've had their little bitty segments about wanting to smoke and just being hype men for just the show wherever they're on. If they're on Raw, they hype up the frickin' pay-per-view. They hype up they're pretty much hype men, pretty much, which is a little different from what they've been in NXT. But this is a solid thing for me. The Undisputed Era wins the titles just because they're on Raw. They're on pay-per-views. It makes no sense for them to hold on to them and just stay there forever. Now, and plus they just won them at the last TakeOver, I think. And normally I wouldn't say they would lose the titles right away, but in this case, they're already on the main roster. They've already been on several weeks of Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views and stuff like that, so it makes no sense for them to have the titles. As much as I'd like them to have the titles for a while, it just doesn't make sense. And finally, Adam Cole defends against Johnny Gargano yet again for the NXT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which we have seen before. However, Gargano and Cole have been able to choose the stipulations for separate falls. We don't know which order this will be in, but Johnny Gargano chose a street fight, and Adam Cole just randomly chose a singles match where you could have had a fucking cage, you could have had something else, you could have had something else, and of course Regal will decide the stipulation if there's a tie. So we don't know what that one is yet, but we just need to end this storyline with Gargano and Cole. It's been going on a little too long, I would feel. But I would pick Cole to retain just so you have that potential of the Undisputed Era winning all the gold. It just makes, if you're going to do it, he needs to retain. It's that simple. But it depends what that final fall is. Because Cole could easily get disqualified if the singles match is first. And then just continue using the weapon because the street fight is the second fall and it's obviously legal in that setting. To where there is a tie and you could do it that way. But I feel like it needs to be a definite win. Cole needs to win two straight falls and just end this with Gargano. It makes no sense for Gargano to keep chasing the title, especially if he's going to lose after the first title defense, like he has been with the North American title and the NXT title. It makes no sense for him to do that. But with that, TakeOver Toronto is August 10th, and there'll be a little more because we need the women's title filled out, and if they want to do a UK title match, they can. But I don't know if they will. We'll see on that for sure.